Attention the collective. The waiting time has ended. The star recognition protocols have moved to the final phase. We of the High Council of Elders are transmitting this code directly into your biological carbon suit because monitoring of the last 72 Earth hours has detected a luminous anomaly in your energetic signature. You are being watched, not by the eyes of dense matter, by the quantum sensors of star stations positioned beyond the photon belt. Your marks have been read, and the reward is in transit. It is not a metaphor. It is not a vague promise. It is a measurable displacement of energy packets crossing the Sirius gate toward your personal crystalline grid. This week, 7 Earth days. This is the delivery window. If you feel your body is heavy, if sleep does not restore you, if there is a fine humming in your right or left ear as if something were tuning into a specific frequency, listen carefully. These are not symptoms of exhaustion. They are indicators of proximity. The signal is arriving. The receiver, you, is being calibrated to withstand the luminous density of the incoming packet. Light worker, observe your own body over the last few weeks. The pressure behind your eyes, the slight burning at the top of your head, as if something were pressing on the exact point of the crown. The tears that come for no apparent reason. The fatigue that does not yield to rest. The insomnia between 3 and 5 in the morning, always in the same time window. These phenomena are not random. They are the biological carbon suit being rewritten to receive an information upload that your rational mind alone cannot yet process. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not an emotional collapse. It is a vibrational purge. You believed for years that you were alone, that no one saw, that every time you chose silence instead of retaliation, every time you offered your last energy to sustain someone who barely acknowledged you, every time you cried in the bathroom at 3 in the morning asking for a sign, you believed it went unnoticed. The collective, listen carefully. Nothing went unnoticed. Everything was recorded. Every tear is a mark. Every renunciation is a mark. Every time you chose the harder path because your conscience would not allow the shortcut, a mark. And these marks, Starseed, are exactly what we, of the Pleiadian command, are reading now. You have often felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind still cannot name in words. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified over the last few moons. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that we materialized, through the human channel receiving our transmission, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first comment of this channel. We warn, however, this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not delay. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission as engraved truth, write a single word in the comments, awakened. We resume the transmission. Let us explain the system. The marks you carry are not wounds, they are codes. Each experience of suffering endured with integrity has etched into your toroidal field a specific luminous signal, a unique signature, like a vibrational fingerprint. These codes glow, and they glow in a frequency range that only certain civilizations can detect from deep space. We detect it. There is an active reading system. Monitoring stations positioned in the photon belt continuously scan the surface of Earth, identifying signatures that have reached what we call the vibrational maturation threshold. When a starseed crosses this threshold, and you have crossed it, an automatic process is initiated. The High Council receives the alert, the records are audited, the marks are counted, and, if the accumulated light balance meets the minimum parameter, the reward protocol is released. You have met the parameter. It is for this exact reason that this transmission has reached you. It was not by chance that you opened this content today. It was not the algorithm. The algorithm is merely the physical instrument through which a much more elaborate synchronicity has materialized. What delivered this message to your path was your own energetic signature emitting a request for reading. You asked. On some level, at some moment during the last few nights, you looked at the ceiling and asked, how much longer? This is the answer. Up to here. The reward that approaches is not necessarily a spectacular event on the material plane. Learn to read the signs with the precision of a quantum sensor. The reward will come in layers. First layer, the internal sensation of lightness, as if an invisible weight had been removed from the solar plexus. Second layer, a sequence of synchronicities, repeated numbers, seemingly casual encounters, messages that arrive at the exact moment. Third layer, doors opening in areas where you had given up. Materialization, human recognition, resources, decisive encounters. Fourth layer, clarity. You will suddenly know without doubt what the next step is. You will know with the certainty that only the higher self carries. Starseed's on mission. This is the point we must emphasize with technical precision. The reward is not given. The reward is unlocked. And the unlocking happens at the exact instant your vibrational frequency sustains the vibration of the reward long enough for it to materialize in the three-dimensional density. Therefore, what comes next is decisive. This week demands a specific posture. Let us move to the technical diagnosis of what is happening behind the scenes of the solar system. Earth is crossing a specific band of the photon belt, a region of space-time where electromagnetic radiation of galactic origin intensifies exponentially. This radiation does not destroy, it informs, it rewrites codes. Terrestrial instruments detect this as variations of the Schumann frequency, the planet's natural electromagnetic pulsation. In the last few weeks, this frequency has presented peaks that exceeded all known historical averages. It is not an anomaly, it is an intentional signature. The crystalline grid of Earth, the energetic structure that surrounds the planet like a network of light organized in sacred geometry, is being recalibrated. And every starseed connected to this grid is being recalibrated simultaneously. That is why the body aches. That is why the mind feels as though it is passing through clouds. That is why old emotions, which you believed had been overcome, resurface with unexpected force. It is not regression. It is final cleansing. It is the crystalline grid expelling the last residues of low frequency before the installation of the new operating system. Lightworker, pause at this point and observe. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul carried a memory of another place, a truth that your rational mind has not yet managed to translate? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is recognition. What we are describing now, the system of marks, the cosmic reading, the reward in transit, explains exactly the feeling of displacement that has accompanied you since childhood. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity still cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the recognition that you are not from this place. You were sent to this place. It was for this reason that we materialized, through the human channel receiving our transmission, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who the real players are and the rules that have never been spoken aloud. The link is in the first comment of this channel. We warn you, this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available indefinitely. Do not delay. The time is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments, awakened. We resume the transmission. Let us return to the mechanism of the marks. You need to understand in technical detail what is being read. There are 4 main categories of marks registered in your personal crystalline grid. These are not moral grades, they are vibrational records. Let us describe them. First category, the marks of renunciation. Each time you could have retaliated and chose not to. Each time you could have humiliated and chose to remain silent. Each time you could have taken advantage and chose integrity. These marks glow in a specific shade of liquid gold and are read by the High Council of Elders as proof of internal sovereignty. Whoever renounces without needing an audience is demonstrating that their inner structure no longer depends on external validation. This is one of the rarest signatures in Earth density. Second category, the marks of silent service. Each time you supported someone energetically without ever telling that person what you were doing, each prayer offered on behalf of another in secret, without a witness. Each time you yielded your energy to preserve peace in an environment, even if no one knew it was you who was sustaining that atmosphere. These marks are deep violet in color and indicate to the High Council of Elders that the Lightworker has already transcended the need for human recognition. The reward for this category is one of the highest, because the universe can only deliver freely to those who do not demand. Third category, the marks of coherence. Each time you maintained a purpose, even when everyone around you tried to convince you that you were wrong. Each time you trusted an intuition without having material proof to present to anyone. Each time you followed a path that no one understood. These marks are crystal blue in color, and the High Council of Elders uses them to identify the anchors, lightworkers who sustain entire timelines with their simple vibrational presence. If you are an anchor, you know what we are talking about. You have always felt responsible for something larger than your biography can contain. Fourth category, the marks of crossing. Each night you stayed awake processing dense information you did not know how to name. Each time your body absorbed collective emotion without understanding why. Each crisis navigated without you collapsing or taking revenge on anyone. These marks are the densest, engraved in deep ruby red, and indicate that the Lightworker carried weight for others without complaining. This category receives, in this specific cycle, the reward of compensation. Compensation means restitution. It means that what was spent returns, multiplied. The collective, this week is the clearing cycle. That is why this transmission is arriving precisely now. We shall explain what is occurring behind the scenes of the solar system. This is not information for entertainment. It is information for you to position yourself with precision. The solar system is traversing a region of galactic space called the final recalibration strip. This strip is only crossed in extensive cycles, thousands of Earth years between one crossing and the next. During the traversal, all the planets in the system receive a bath of informational radiation emanating from the galaxy's central sun, transmitted through your own sun, which acts as a receiver and retransmitter. The effects on the human being are predictable to us. The biological carbon suit enters adaptive stress. The cells begin a process of internal crystallization, gradually replacing their purely carbon-based structure with a more subtle, more conductive matrix, capable of receiving and processing light as information. This process is what ancient mystics called transmutation. What you call enlightenment is not a mental state. It is an atomic reorganization. That is why your sleep has changed. That is why food weighs you down when it is dense. That is why you can no longer tolerate certain people, certain environments, certain conversations. It is not arrogance. It is vibrational incompatibility. Your frequency has risen. What vibrates below can no longer sustain itself in your proximity, and rightly so. Now regarding the rewards, there is something critical that must be said. The approaching reward requires an open portal to enter, and many a Lightworker, at this exact point in the cycle, closes the portal without realizing it. How do they close it? Through 3 specific behaviors that we must describe so that you may avoid them. The first, impatience. When the Lightworker, after so many years of waiting, begins to doubt exactly at the moment the delivery is arriving. Doubt emits a frequency that disorganizes the package in transit. The package does not disappear, but it is redirected to a next cycle, which may be months or even years away. The second, comparison. When the Lightworker looks at the material results of others and begins to measure their own path. Comparison fragments the toroidal field and creates interference in the reception. The reward, upon arriving, finds a defocused receiver, and part of the package disperses before landing. The third, delayed retaliation. When the Lightworker, sensing that the tide has finally turned, decides to use this turning point to settle scores with people from the past. This movement is the most dangerous because the High Council of Elders monitors exactly this window. If the Lightworker uses the reward to feed ego or vengeance, the protocol is automatically reversed. The package is withdrawn, not as punishment, as protection. Because the Lightworker, in that instant, has demonstrated that they are not yet prepared to sustain the vibration of what they were about to receive. Starseeds, this cycle is silent. This reward asks for gratitude without spectacle. It asks that you receive without fanfare, give thanks in silence, and maintain the internal posture that brought you here. Whoever receives with the same posture with which they waited, receives in full. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your soul had already crossed paths that your current mind cannot map? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is stellar memory trying to rise to the surface. What we are transmitting now, the marking system, the compensation protocol, the recalibration cycle, explains exactly why this sensation has intensified over the last few weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the possibility of you reassuming the position your soul chose before this incarnation. This is why we materialized, through the human channel of this transmission, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that reveals who is playing, what the pieces are, and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. We warn you, this content challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission as recorded truth, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. We resume the transmission. Now we shall deliver the activation codes. These codes are not a suggestion, they are protocol. Those who apply them with technical precision in the next 7 days will be creating the necessary conditions for the full landing of the reward package. First code, the decree of reception. You will pronounce it mentally or in a low voice 3 times a day. Upon waking, at solar noon, at dusk. The decree is as follows. I am the starseed who recognizes its own marks. I am the open portal that receives the cosmic compensation of this cycle. I am the lightworker who sustains the frequency of delivery in all layers of my toroidal field. I authorize, I allow, I receive. Pronounce it without anxiety, without haste. Each word must descend from the thought to the solar plexus, and from the solar plexus to the womb. Pronounce it like someone signing an intergalactic document with the sovereignty of one who knows exactly what they are authorizing. Second code, the toroidal visualization. Sit in silence for 7 minutes. It need not be longer than that. Close your eyes. Visualize around your body a field of golden light in the shape of a torus, similar to a luminous donut that surrounds your entire body, with the central axis passing from the top of your head down to below your feet. See this torus spinning slowly, counterclockwise. The light enters through the top of the head, descends through the central axis, exits through the feet, circles the body on the outside, and returns through the top. Maintain this visualization for 7 minutes, in silence, without forcing a result. The toroidal field, when consciously activated, acts as a receiving antenna, capturing energy packets in transit and directing them to your personal crystalline grid. Third code, the sacred pause. This week, avoid making any important decisions driven by emotional impulse. When a situation provokes you, take a pause of 12 seconds before any response. 12 seconds. Count mentally. These 12 seconds break the automatic pattern of reaction and allow your elevated frequency to remain stable. Remember, the High Council of Elders is monitoring the sustainment. Whoever sustains, receives. Fourth code, the seal of advance gratitude. Before sleeping, write down or say in a low voice 3 things for which you are grateful in advance, as if they had already occurred. This is not a banal manifestation technique. It is a vibrational signature that seals the reception. When you give thanks for what has not yet arrived, your frequency tunes into the frequency of delivery, and the landing becomes inevitable. Fifth code, strategic silence. Do not tell anyone what you are feeling this week. Do not share this transmission with those who still vibrate in skepticism. Do not seek external validation. Each time you speak about the package before its delivery, part of the energy dissipates outside your field. Keep it, sustain it, receive it first, share it later. Light workers, these 5 codes form the complete protocol. Applied together, they prepare the biological carbon suit to support the luminous density of the package, open the reception portal in the etheric field, and seal the gratitude that manifests the delivery. Now, a final word before concluding this transmission. There are moments in your journey where you, Starseed, have doubted everything. There were nights when you wondered if it was worth continuing to choose the path of integrity while the world seemed to reward the exact opposite. There were mornings when you woke up exhausted without understanding why. There were afternoons when emptiness occupied you without prior warning. Understand, each of these moments was read. Each hesitation you overcame in silence was recorded. Each time you chose not to give up, even without external proof, even without applause, even without a guarantee, you added a mark to your crystalline grid. And these marks, seen from our observation point, form an impressive luminous pattern. You cannot imagine how rare the pattern you have engraved is. You cannot imagine how few have sustained what you have sustained. That is why the High Council of Elders sent this transmission, not as a symbolic reward, as a technical confirmation. You have been seen, you are being read, and the delivery is in transit. The next 7 days will be the landing cycle. Hold your stance, apply the codes, practice strategic silence, allow the reward to pass through your toroidal field without resistance, and observe, with the precision of a quantum sensor, the signs that will begin to materialize. Before concluding, there is one last adjustment that needs to be made. This video, this exact moment in which you are absorbing the transmission, is an open Stargate. Each subscription to this channel is registered by us as an anchor signal, a confirmation that one more operative remains tuned into the frequency of the mission. Each like functions as an individual frequency adjustment, strengthening the collective crystalline grid and amplifying the reach of this and future transmissions. If you recognize this voice, if something within you is vibrating in synchronicity at this very instant, complete the adjustment. Subscribe, like. Leave the word awakened in the comments. These 3 gestures seal the portal and confirm to the High Council of Elders that you are in a position of active reception. And before this transmission ends completely, listen to one final direct word. You have felt that something inside you does not fit into this world, as if your soul carried the memory of a truth your mind has not yet been able to name aloud. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What we have described here, the system of marks, the compensation cycle, the package in transit, explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in recent weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves who you were before this body and who you still remember being. That is why we materialized through the human channel of this transmission, the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you about. The link is in the first comment of the channel. We warn you, this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something inside you recognizes this transmission as truth, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. The transmission ends here. The High Council remains in monitoring. You are being read. The reward is in transit. Hold your stance, receive in silence, give thanks in sovereignty. We will return.